Hey YouTube, this is Marl Games, and I'm showing you a run I did of Lower Blackrock Spire about a month ago with me as the Protection Paladin tank of the group. Um, Here I'm only level 59, so just showing that you don't need to be 60 in good gear to tank as a Paladin. And I think the rest of my group isn't that great geared either. Like, they're all fresh 60s or lower level themselves. I can't really see in the UI right this minute, but maybe you'll see later on what level everybody is. Um, so yeah, I haven't watched this in a month since I recorded it, so I'm just gonna try commentating over it, maybe giving tips about playing a protection paladin, how to tank. Like, you'll see my rotation and maybe my use of cooldowns and stuff. Um, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. So for sure, leave any comments or um, private message me if you have questions about it or you found this useful, whatever. So here you see I'm pulling with a bomb, a grenade, because I'm an engineer. It's essential for paladin tanks to get engineering for that reason. Because I mean, I could have this hunter pull for me, but it's just kind of waste time because it takes that much time to communicate. So it's better if you just pull yourself. And it gives you some nice initial aggro on the mobs if you use the grenade. So there's that. And it's important to do that in Lower Blackrock Spire just because everything runs pretty much. So you can end up chain pulling if you're like fighting right where the mobs start. So you gotta pull back. And they do this annoying net thing sometimes. I'm as fuck right now, so I don't freedom myself, but it works out well. Um, let's see. At this point, I'm using the mace from Zul'Farrak, the Hand of Antu'sul. This is pretty much the prop paladin weapon because it gives you thunderclap, which normally only warriors would have, but it actually gives you an 11% thunderclap effect, and the damage on it does scale with spell power. So though I probably don't have a ton of spell power at this moment, probably like 20 or 30 in the gear set I'm wearing. Um, that's still nice. Just it's a good weapon, and you can continue using it because of that reason. Like if I haven't tried using it recently, but I have like probably close to 100 spell power if I want to, and that might be good for that weapon. But anyway, it's really good AoE weapon. I put Fiery Blaze enchant on it, and you can just see it does a lot of AoE damage. Um, Here this cat's tanking some, just because I'm not using Consecrate that much. It is harder. Like if a hunter's using his pet as an off tank, you can't really get him off it. So just let the pet die if it's going to. But otherwise, don't try to waste your mana trying to tank everything. So here I'm drinking. There's a lot of drinking in this game. Alright, so just consecrating, using shield block on cooldown. I'm judging righteousness. It's pretty much, that went really well. Not losing threat at all. My group composition, let's see, it's Warlock, Holy Paladin, Rogue, Hunter, and me. So that's pretty nice. Not really competing with anyone for tank gear. Just that Paladin, I guess. But what's nice is he's giving me Blessing of Wisdom, and I have Blessing of Sanctuary, and those just make pally tanking so nice. Usually I have to end up going Blessing of Wisdom instead of Sanctuary just so I don't go as fast. Um, so when I get to use Sanctuary, it's really nice. Just it reduces the damage you take and does some reflect damage when you block. So good for your threat, good for your survivability. It's just mana is so important. But I mean, I am not having to drink after every pull, so that's good. This healer isn't keeping me topped off, so I'm like wasting mana healing myself. Here again you see I'm LOS pulling, so can't highlight that enough is if you're tanking a dungeon that you should be LOS pulling, not charging in. It's less tempting for paladins because you don't have charge like warriors do. I see a lot of warriors be like total idiots and just charge into like, I mean in that you should do it if you're a tanking warrior for like small stuff, but like doing it in like Upper Blackrock Spire I saw that happen recently and it was just depressing because he died in like 5 seconds. So just by their default nature, protection paladins are better because they don't charge in nearly as much as warriors. So here's a fun glitch on this. I think I'm going to speed this up more because this is a long video. And so yeah, I'm having this warrior pull this boss because I'm not sure if this will be so in Classic, but he's not tied to those mobs next to him. So you can pull just the boss alone, and that makes this easier because he does a lot of damage. I think this fucking paladin is like sleeping because he has completely full mana and I'm like hitting 2% health. So I don't know what that's about. I remember this guy though that's healing me, and I remember him being pretty good, so I don't know what's going on. But it happens when you're a healer, is you can't stare at the screen because it's kind of mind-numbing. At least for paladins, because you're just spamming flashlight pretty much. And that's why I went protection. So here's these troll mobs. There are shadow priests among them that you should target skull first, just because they do a mana burn. And I just talked for like 10 minutes about how good mana is. But it for sure, like, it hits you once or twice and you're out of mana, so you're kind of fucked. But so how I'm like going into this is that I'm trying to like front load, use all my mana, so I drop max strength, consecration. I actually use a grenade there to try to interrupt the mana burn, and I just tried to spend my mana as quick as possible because I was gonna lose it from the mana burn anyway. So that's kind of the thing with a paladin, is you have this limited resource of mana, and you can like go really quick if you want, and you'll generate a ton of threat in doing so. But sometimes you want to like, you don't need as much threat right away, and so you kind of want to spread it out over time. So you can kind of determine that by if you want to do like chain pulling, or if there's like a really big pack in front of you, where everybody's gonna need to drink anyway after it's killed. So so just saying, like, for big packs you should go ham and like use your mana right away. The only thing you need is to keep enough of a reserve for Holy Shield for the entire thing. Usually if you're running Blessing of Wisdom, that will be enough to just let you always have Holy Shield going, and then you're just budgeting around Judgment and Consecration. So yeah, against Shadow Priest who are mana burning you should just drop all your aggro high mana abilities right away. Here you see with a beautiful grenade pull right there. Just brought 2 mobs back. And I only used about 30% of my mana. Pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to drink anyway, so I'm probably using all my mana here. Really, just 1 consecrate is all you need for packs. So here's this boss. This boss is pretty hard because it does a curse that like increases damage you take by 500. So that's huge, especially because he has daggers. So he's just hit me like a million times. So that's why you need to tell your mage or your druid at the start to decurse. And there actually isn't one in my group at this point. So I used bubble to clear the curse off me. So that worked. But you might have saw I almost died there. So that's why this boss is hard. It just does a ton of burst damage with that curse. So, but that is a nice thing about being a protection paladin is rather than a warrior is that you can take that curse off you by bubbling and then like clicking bubble off right away, while a warrior would be kind of hosed because he can't do shit. So like that gives you more flexibility playing a paladin, is that you don't need to worry about debuffs as much because you got cleanse and you can bubble off curses at least, because there are a lot of dungeons have these curses inside them that increase the damage you take. Like Skolo is another one of them. Probably the lower black Spire here though is the worst defender. So yeah, just a tip there to bubble that curse off you if you don't have a druid or mage in your group. Here's these mobs. The berserkers enrage when they're about to die, so you don't want to be AoEing here necessarily as much, because you just want to focus fire on the berserkers. Otherwise, you can get wrecked. So we killed it fast there, but it was by itself. Here are these trolls. You can just AoE. I kind of misplaced my consecration there, taking a lot of spell damage, but I wasn't too worried. This paladin is like using holy light instead of flashlight, so it's a little bit more stressful as a tank. But I have my health potion keybound and lay on hands keybound, and also I have some whipperroot tumors at this point, which is like a kind of it shares the health stone cooldown for another healing effect. So I pretty much always have my fingers on those while I'm like when I'm tanking, I'm looking at my health bar, and if it drops below like 20% for more than a second, then I'm gonna pop one of those cooldowns. So you should always carry a stash of health potions, and then I would recommend farming in Fellwood every now and then, getting whipperroot tumors or night dragon's breath. Just it just sucks dying in dungeons, so anything you can get to help you protect for that. And like I'm running this at 59, so it isn't like a lot of people consider lower Blackrock Spire a level 60 dungeon, but you can really get away running it 58 or higher, so that's what I'm doing. I had already like got a lot of my gear from Blackrock Depths at this point, so I wanted to move on, so that's what I'm doing here. And you can see I'm holding my own. I'm pretty well geared. I'm trying to look at what gear I have. I think I got shoulders from Dire Maul North, the first boss. Those are really good, and you can get those at level 55. You can just pay like a warlock or a hunter to solo the boss for you, and they'll totally do that. So that's one tip for getting really good shoulders early on, because these are just about pre-bis shoulders that you won't really find better unless you're paying for stockade pauldrons or something else. The legs I have are like plates of the Eternal Guardian, it looks like, from Chest of Seven and Blackrock Depths. Um, those have really high armor and really high defense, but not a lot of stamina. Uh, so I don't know. They're kind of good. Any defense is nice when you're like hitting 60, because you don't have a lot of it at that point. So um, it is good to stack some defense. Um, I'm wondering how much health I have at this point. I can't really see on my health bar, but maybe we'll see later. Other gear I'm wearing, trying to see. Oh, I'm wearing a chest piece from Dire Maul East. So this is another thing you can do before you hit 60 is do Dire Maul East jump runs. And there is quite a few tanking pieces in there. There's a helmet from the demon boss, which I never got to drop, but it's got like 2% dodge and some stamina on it, so it's nice. And there's a chest piece from the last boss that just has a lot of stamina and some mana per 5 on it, so that's pretty nice. What about my boots? No idea what those boots are. Oh, I think they're boots of valor? No, because those drop from skull. It might be entrenching boots from BRD Arena. Those are nice for, they have um, some spell damage on them. I think my belt probably is the one from killing Overmaster Pyron in Blackrock Depths. It gives you like a belt that has like 8 stamina or 12 stamina, 8 defense. So that's good. Oh yeah, here I'm getting a Hellstone. Like even more health cooldowns, always good. So let's see. This is where the dungeon starts getting a little trickier because there's a lot of caster mobs. These invokers do a lot of fire damage, so I tend to mark those as skull. Firebrand, Darkweaver, those do shadow damage. They're not as deadly. So here, this is a spot where I have like chain pulled like 20 mobs at the same time. So be careful here, and I'm fighting too close, I think. Like I might be, this might be the video of me chain pulling. Maybe not. But yeah, these things run, and there's just a ton right around this corner, so be careful, because yeah, you can accidentally pull like 5 or 6 mobs here, and 3 of them are casters that are gonna do a bunch of damage. And here you can see there I have a curse that's gonna do damage to me on like minute intervals. So that's not great. I could bubble to get rid of it. I probably should, but it's gonna keep getting recast on me by these, I think, these Dreadweavers. So these grunts do a ton of damage. I think they do like an enrage. So be careful. Oh no, they do Mortal Strike. That's why they're hard. So just be aware you have Mortal Strike when you're fighting them. And just give your healer plenty of time to drink and stuff. Somehow I keep getting chain pulls though. This must all be patrols. Something. But yeah, this warlock's been dead for like 10 minutes. Trying to think. There you can see the damage meter. It's the warlock in first place with 30%. I'm second place, but actually the hunter's in second place. He's at 24% with his pet, if you count his pet. And but I'm actually beating the rogue, so you can see having a protection paladin in your group is, it's basically a 4th DPS. Because I mean that if I was a warrior, I'd probably be doing barely as much damage as the cat. So good thing about protection paladins, man. you run faster dungeons with one. I think that warlock dying there was like the first death too, so um, I should probably be salving the warlock because warlocks just in general, they have a ton of threat on their shadow bolts, like they do crits that do a ton of damage, and their dots. So I think it's better to give them salve rather than wisdom because they can life tap, so mana isn't as big of an issue for them. So, oh wait, but we have two paladins, so he probably does have salve. But it's just not me blessing it because I'm using this pally buff. I'm looking at my pally buff called Pally Power add-on, and it shows what it gives me timers on the buffs everyone has. So you can see that one of the paladins right now is missing wisdom. That's me. Not good. But the rogue hunter and warlock have their wisdom and might, so they're good. Good add-on to get. Recommended. That damage meter I'm using is called SW stats, and it works pretty good. Again, you see that this warlock's loving this because I'm just consecrating and he can just rain of fire. And yeah, this is definitely a spot where you want to pull back because these things do run, and I've seen some nasty chain pulls here. And yeah, this is where the grenades come in handy, so you can pull back to this corner here and just consecrate once they come, and then people can just AoE and kill things super quick. See, this whole hallway is clear now, all safe. There's some sleeping mobs around the next corner, so you can avoid them. You just need to pull these two casters, which are kind of a pain. I try to pull them around the corner, but maybe you can use like these tents to LOS them. Let's see how I do, because I might mess it up. I've been known to mess this pull up, because there's two grunts right behind them that you can aggro, and yep. Oh, in that case it was the hunter's pet who pulled. It's still kind of my fault because I should have LOS'd them better so that they're not stuck outside that corner. So make it your responsibility to pull and position mobs in the correct spot. That's just an important skill for tanks to have. And you should also do marks, because even though I'm an AoE tank, people still need to focus fire and not just AoE all the time, because things can enrage or do abilities over time. So you take a lot of damage if you're tanking 4 things at once. So I mean, this paladin's a hero. You can see he's out of mana right now. So like, I'm pushing him to his limits by doing this AoE tanking against mobs that Mortal Strike too. Like, I'm punishing him basically. He's having to work pretty hard, I think. I don't know. I mean, as long as he's not using potions, it's fine, because I'm also having to drink a ton, so it's fine. I guess we don't have a mage in group, so he's having to pay for his water, but so am I. So that's the price of speed. Oh god, I died there. So yeah, both these grunts are enraged at the same time, and I was probably Mortal Striked. Oh, and I moved out of line of sight, so it's kind of more of the healer's duty to make sure that they don't fall out of sight, but you can help them as the tank. So I was kind of moving in between the poles of that tent, and that messed him up. So kind of my fault there, but the group didn't wipe, so that's a good thing. Here's kind of a big pull. I think it's like 5 or 6 mobs total, and I'm running in here, and I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, this was the time I ran in and charged in. You can split this pull up um, if you ranged pull, because there's a sleeping one. So is this actually a wipe? Or maybe the oh, okay, the hunter lived, and maybe he has jumper cables. Yes, he does. Okay, so it's not technically a wipe yet. Fuck. So yeah, that I said at the beginning of this video, it's bad to charge into packs. You should pull back. I was just getting greedy with my grenades, I guess. Because yeah, there is a sleeping mob there, so you can split pull that. So now for the rebuffing period, just takes a while. I guess I can speed it up some more. So we actually killed, what, 3 of them, so not too bad. Some of these mobs here, what are they, the pyro class casters or something? They can drop a epic robe pattern for mages. It's a bind on equip tailoring pattern that creates a bind on pickup mage robe. So these can be worth a lot of money to mage tailors. More so at the beginning of a server. They probably replace it when they start doing Molten Core and Blackwing Lair. But it's like a pre-bis robe for them. So yeah, these pyromancers can drop that, and if you win it, you can probably sell it for a couple hundred gold. I lost the chest roll. That's depressing. I think that's a locked chest right there though, so only go for it if you have a rogue that plays the game. Oh yeah, they ended up just giving it to the rogue, so it's cool. That's fine with me to get just if there's a locked chest, just give it to the rogue. These spider packs are amazing. This is what makes Prot Paladins the best tank of lower Blackrock Spires. You can just AoE tank all these spiders. The big spiders, when they die, they like explode into little spiders. So just make sure you keep enough mana to consecrate as they're dying. This is the boss spider. It just like spawns adds throughout the entire thing. So you might not want to use max rank consecration for that fight. Like rank 3 would probably be good. There's some crappy gloves dropped. I think they were male, so I didn't even bother looking at them. But I won them. Is that my first blue? It's another spider pack. This is just awesome. Oh, the thing they do though is they got a stun, and apparently when they cast on you, it drops your aggro. So just be constantly dropping consecrate so that the mobs return to you after the stun depletes. And if you have a healer that's good, they'll cleanse you right away or dispel. So, but you can't. I mean, it's only a 2-second stun, so not a big deal. Re-blessing everybody. Except the warlock for some reason. The shield I'm using is one. I don't think I mentioned this. It's a quest shield that is basically as good as any shield you'll find at 60. It's got like 2100 armor, so and 15 stamina, 10 intellect on it. So it's like This is the shield you want to get by the time you hit 60. I don't remember the name of it, but it's from the quest where you have to kill Nathaniel Blightcaller and Eastern Plaguelands. It's a quest that starts in Stormwind when you're like level 56 or something like that. And it just makes you go back and forth from Stormwind a couple times, and then you have to kill this raid boss in Eastern Plaguelands. You need like 15 people to do it. So you actually should look it up and do like the pre-quest for it right away, just so that you can be ready for whenever you see that a raid is forming to complete it. Because it is kind of a pain to have to make your own raid to kill him. So just a tip there to get like one of the best shields for paladins. What else? I'm trying to think what helm I'm using at this point. It's the helm I'm using is it's a quest reward from Sunken Temple. If you kill Hakar, it's kind of a long quest chain that starts in Tenaris when you're level 40, and it takes you like to Feralis, and then I think you have to clear Zul'Farrak once, and then you go to Sunken Temple, and you summon Hakar and do this kind of hard event to kill him, and you get a really good plate shield or a plate helm from that with like 25 stamina on it. So it's like called an Avantgarde helm or something. Anyway, so just now we skipped killing Urwok. We don't have enough CC to do that boss because he summons a ton of ads that you gotta fight for like 3 minutes. So you actually it requires you to have a mage in your group. A hunter would help, but it's not enough by himself. So, and a warlock would help also with fear, but fear and trap are kind of unreliable on themselves. Like you kind of need to rely on sheep a bit on that fight. So that's just my experience, is to not bother unless you have a mage in your group. I mean, I would still try it if the group wanted to try, but it's kind of like it's on them to kind of carry the group about it. So I'm not gonna like volunteer to do it unless we have a mage. Here we're killing this quartermaster Ziggler guy, Ziggus. So if you're the lucky person, you get his 5 major mana potions and 5 major healing potions. It looks like the fucking hunter got it in this point. No justice in this run. It should be the paladin who gets those mana potions, but whatever. It's 5 gold. No big deal. He can also drop some a really good belt for melee DPS and a really good caster DPS glove, so it's worth killing him. It's just sometimes he drops nothing. Okay, so I'm about to fight the wolf boss. This is where prop paladins totally shine, is consecrating this. I don't know what I'm waiting for, like AFK. Oh, I'm doing the quest at this point. I gotta catch one of the wolves in the cage. This is a quest you get in Burning Steps in like the north cave. There's like a quest hub there, so. Oh, the healer was AFK, that's why. Okay, so luckily the dogs don't interrupt the cast of the cage, so I guess watch out here. The dog has a knockback, so it can knock you out of line of sight with your healer. And then when it dies, this guy comes out, and he just hits fast, so that's kind of nice for a prop paladin, because you block a lot. So some good healing bracers dropped, I guess, there. I wouldn't roll against the healer for those. Like if I'm tanking a dungeon, I would always, like I would cede healer loot to the healer. The only time I didn't do that was for like Mind Tap Talisman from Dire Maul West, because that actually is something I use while I'm tanking. So you would only need against a healer for loot that you would use while you were tanking, which there is some hybrid loot like that for paladins because you are a mana user. And so yeah, maybe I just pissed some of you guys off by saying I would need on a Mind Tap Talisman as a tank, but that's like my favorite trinket because if you can stack enough mana per 5, then you can start using mana or Blessing of Sanctuary rather than Blessing of Wisdom as a paladin tank. So yeah, I'm just saying paladins do appreciate getting mana per 5 gear. Like I would so much want the Shard of the Scale from Onyxia. It's like a 16 mana per 5 trinket, but that thing is so rare, and you would piss off so many healers getting that. But that's the thing, is that you could be a healer in Onyxia, and so then you could get that trinket, the Shard of the Scale, and then you could use it as a tank. So that's why I advocate for not running a pure protection tank spec, where I think you should get some healing talents as well, just healing light and 1 point in illumination. So that way you can heal raids and kind of you can need on that hybrid gear. Because I don't heal raids for the sake of healing. I only do it to help me get tank gear, pretty much. So it's up to your playstyle though, but you can be a better tank by healing in raids and getting gear that way. So here I'm doing a lot of LOS pulling. But this room is pretty hard because if you get near those cracks in the ground, you'll aggro like 50 scorpions that are not actually that easy to kill. They have like a lot of health. And what makes this even trickier is there's this summoner orc, and so that was actually a good strategy I pulled there, where I just ran into him. But what he does is okay, my group kind of screws up here. You can walk around. Well, okay, so there's these summoner mobs, and they summon people on top of them. So that can, if they're like on the edge of that scorpion cliff, that can end up aggroing all the scorpions. So you need to be careful about where you fight summoners and how you're pulling them. So you should try to line of sight them so that they don't end up like casting from the edge of that crack in the ground. And then you need to be careful crossing this bridge because there's mobs on both sides of you, and if you're like in the middle of the bridge, you don't actually pull them. God. My group just pulled the scorpions, but I guess he feigned death and they went away, so that's good on him for noticing. Yeah, I just had so many headaches in this room with the frickin' scorpions. People just have to learn that they cannot be near the edge, and yeah, so as you as the tank, you need to make sure these summoners don't accidentally bring people next to the cliff. So finally I'm resurrected. Again, no wipes this run. Everybody's died at one point, but we haven't had to run back, so pretty good lower Blackrock Spire run. And this is the final way to the final boss. Just killing some more packs. Kind of like fighting these mobs. Mobs that like that are like dual wielders that hit a bunch. You just love those as paladins because they crit on you, so you get Reckoning and Redoubt procs, and you're just blocking a ton, so they do basically nothing to you. So good stuff. could kind of see, I ran into this group with not that much mana. Like, all you really need is one Consecrate and enough to keep doing Holy Shield, and maybe put up Seal of Righteousness, but not judge it, and just kind of constantly switch between who you're attacking. So it's like I pull, I drop Consecrate, I judge one of them, and then I auto attack another one with Seal of Righteousness, and I just kind of flip between the mobs, just tab target, and that is enough to keep aggro pretty much. Again, a brilliant ranged pull with grenade behind a corner. Not even having to think about aggro really, except this hunter kind of does a lot of DPS, so. Or he at least trapped that mob, so he might have got initial aggro on it, so. That's why I kind of don't like CC in my groups, but I mean when you're not in the best gear, you kind of CC can save you from dying, so you just kind of get a feel for how many mobs you can handle. You can play it safe at first, and just be well. I'm on the final boss here, and the only thing that's hard about him is that he summons these ads, and you do want to CC these because you will die if you're tanking all three of them at once. So luckily this hunter pet tanked one for a while, and then I jumped in for a bit, but then I ended up blessing a protection myself, so that was good. So I think I'm reserving the gems in this run. This is why I put it on master loot. So that is the thing you should do as a tank, whether you're Paladin, Warrior, or Druid, is you should reserve the gems in lower Blackrock Spire so that you can collect all three of them. Because there's three of them that drop from 3 bosses, and they're only like 20% chance. So pretty hard to collect, so you should reserve them so that you can get them as fast as possible. That way you can lead upper Blackrock Spire runs. Oh, it looks like we are attempting to do a rock by my group's request, so here we are doing that. You just need to get a pike from oh wait. I think I remember this. Nobody remembered to grab the pike, so well, maybe he's getting it, I don't know. I haven't watched this in a month, so we'll see if we actually end up doing it. I didn't stop recording at this point, so okay, he did get the pike, so that's just a thing you need to grab if you want to kill this boss. So here it is really hard. So the hunter's being a badass, using his pet to tank, trapping. The warlock should be fearing. Yeah, he's fearing that mage. The mages do a ton of damage here, so you should CC them while you kill the melee ones. And yeah, you can just see this is fucking hard. We're using all this CC and stuff, and you can just watch the health bars in my group where we're all getting wrecked, especially that warlock. The hunter's already and the boss isn't out yet, so this is tough. I think we do end up wiping here, but we run back and kill the boss. So you just need to live long enough for the boss to summon. There he is right there. Yeah, so the group's dead, healer died. I'm fucked. Yeah, okay, so there you go, the first wipe of the group. And again, I talked about this, where the only way you're gonna one-shot this boss is if you have a mage, and along with another CC, because a hunter can't really continually trap during that. All we really had was fear, so you want a mage to help with just CCing one of those ogre mages during the fight. But we did live a lot long enough for the boss to spawn, so we got about a I don't know, 5 or 10 minute window to run back and fight him. So I'm telling my group to just get the hell back. Don't wait for a res. Um, so yeah, hopefully we end up killing it. There are times when we've ran back and then I waited for people to drink and then the boss despawned. So you can't wait at all. And here's the shortcut for getting back into Blackrock Spire. If you wipe, is you can jump here. See, these people didn't know about it, so you should wait for your group and to tell them about it. So you just jump down and you're back here, so pretty quick. And yeah, just try to get back to that boss as soon as possible. Try to bless people along the way. Make sure you have Righteous Fury. Turn on your aura, which I haven't. And I just pulled him right away, so this was actually bad by me. The fucking people in my group, they stopped to grab the fucking spider eggs, like, or they did something. The Paladin was slowed down for some reason, but luckily, yeah, I don't know, they just took forever, so I ended up dying just because I pulled it right away, but we ended up killing it because my group was beast. So here's this rose wine circle that dropped, so that's an awesome healer ring. I wanted it, but I let the Paladin have that because he's healing, so that's just a nice thing you can do. So that's the end of the run. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you thought about seeing this run. See how long this is. But yeah, I didn't really have an outro planned. Just let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I got another video I recorded of Skillo, so I'll probably upload that soon. So thanks so much.